Écoute mon cœur, où es-tu maintenant? Il s'agit d'attendre toute ma vie.
They nerfed Liza P for a second time. I do not know if you're aware, but a couple of months ago they nerfed the game by nerfing the health bar of some specific enemies, and there's quite a whole bunch of things that happened back then, and now they nerfed the game back again. Even more. So it sure is interesting. I do have to tell you that me personally, I thought that the difficulty was just perfect. But then again, I do have to tell you that there's a couple of bosses back then on Liza P's launch where I found myself humbled by a couple of bosses that I thought that they were too overly difficult. But speaking for myself, I like that. I enjoy that. I'm that kind of masochist that kind of enjoys that kind of stuff. I know that not everyone is the same. They nerfed the game once, they nerfed the game back again, and before we actually dive into the patch notes and everything that they did, we might as well talk about the freebies that we received as well, because as you can see right here, we also received quite a whole lot of stuff as free content. So that is always appreciated. First of everything, the Treasures Hunter apparel, which is Salidorus' outfit that we weren't able to get in-game, even after, spoiler alert, huge spoiler alert, even after if you take the choice to actually kill the fake Alidorus, you were not able to grab this little thing. If I'm being completely honest with you, I mean, it's not my cup of tea, it's not my style, it's not something that I would personally be using over some different little things that we have out there. Although when it comes to the game, if you want to have like that goofy mask, I think that the face of the mask and textures and all that stuff, it's kind of amazing. One more thing that I do have to mention is that this is free content that was added on the game. As soon as you log onto your game, you're going to get access to this. And then they also did a separation between the outfits for the hats that we have. So for example, this was free content, this was added as free content as well. Let me just change for something a little bit more classy. They did a separation between glasses and hats. So there's not many of them, so they gave these ones for free. The Illusory Emerald glasses as well as the Alchemist's hat. Once you take a look at them together, I would find myself actually using this little thing right here. But there's not too much stuff to go around in here. It has to be said. They also added a brand new hairstyle, which is accessible right here on the Gepetus's toolbox. All you have to do is just come here, change your shape, and you're going to have long hair, short hair, long gray hair. If I change to long hair right now, I'm going to have like the basic long hair that we usually have. If I sit down back again, you're going to have a new option, which is the short gray hair, which is this one. And I do have to say, I do like how this looks. And that is basically the freebies. That is basically everything that they gave for free in this new patch. It's something nice indeed. Now let's talk about the rest of the stuff that they did in the game and how did they change the difficulty. So first and foremost, everything that you are going to see out there in the fields, the enemies, the attack speed of the enemies, as you can see, as you were able to see, it's very unpredictable because they have this monotonous of automatized kind of playstyle of a robot had. Like the tracking of the animation, it's a little bit difficult to pinpoint and be able to do those parries, to dodge properly. So that has been tweaked a little bit. The duration of the stance breaks of some monster, it's also increased, so you don't have to actually be that aggressive once you break the stance of some enemies. And also the spawn locations of some monsters and traps has been moved a little bit to improve the flow of the game and for the enemies not to be swarming you that much. Another very cool feature that I think that this should have been there from the very beginning, from the very get-go of the game's launch, the rising dodge, which is basically when an enemy throws you down into the grounds and you're able to regain your stance as soon as you can by pressing the dodge button. There was a huge barrier for players once you reach Benignis's works, the factory. And this is the specific enemy that you're seeing on the screen. So it's very easy for the enemy to drop you, to knock you down on your feet on the ground, and then after that it deals tremendous amounts of damage by pinning you on the ground and not allowing you to do that much more, not allowing you to do quite a whole lot of stuff. Now you're able to, well, previously if you had the P organ to be able to dodge once you're knocked down, then you could most certainly get rid of those situations, but there's many of them. It's just not this one specific enemy, and this is a feature that should be native to the player skill, a tool that a player should have, and not something that you unlock. So now it doesn't matter, as soon as you begin the game, this is always going to be there. And then we also have Polendina's shop. We have more quartz, so it's basically like 3 more quartz that you are able to purchase, and you don't have to be spending them on the rising dodge back anymore. So the quartz are very useful. They help you quite a lot, especially on the very early stages of the game, and being able to have just 2 of them to purchase them directly from the shop, and then once you progress a little bit more, once you expand the shop once more, you get 1 extra quartz right there. That's very much welcome. That's something that I do like quite a lot. Now this is something that I didn't like that much about how they handled the patch notes. They did say before they released this patch on their update that they gave with the director's letter that they were going to improve. They are going to enhance buff some weapons, and they did. But one thing that I don't like about this is that it's not really clear about which weapons do we have right here, which weapons are we talking about. These are the changes of the main gameplay mechanics that you would have in the game, and yes, I mean, there's quite a whole lot of them that you can see directly that they are being mentioned, like for example, proof of humanity right here. The movement speed distance while using the skill, it's going to be increased, so that is a nice buff to proof of humanity. The skill is very much appreciated. And then we also have the weapon etiquette, increase the damage reduction rate while guarding while using this weapon, but it also reduces the Fable's charge amount for a set period of time when attacking, so that's nice. And then we have the basic puppet blade. The basic Popper Saber Blade has increased stats after enhancing, and those are basically the weapons that they mention. But something that I like about, for example, Elden Ring, is that they gave us directly, like, we increase the attack speed by set amount of milliseconds for this set amount of weapons, this one right here, this other one right here. Here, we just have to, like, play and make sense of what we have, but there's no points. Like, they said that they wanted for players to use more weapons. I mean, yeah, that's okay, but now how do I know what are those of some weapons? How do I know which weapons should I be trying next because you buffed them? How do I know that I am not using a weapon that that it wasn't buffed previously and that it wasn't buffed in here? So I think that a little bit more of extra in here would help quite a lot for us people that enjoy making builds, for us people that enjoy trying new weapons, see what are we going to get, and so on and so forth. Now this is something that they did as well, something that it is worth throwing around. The weapon assemble system in Lies of P, it's just fantastic. I can't stress enough how amazing, how beautiful, how gorgeous it is to play around with this thing. One thing is that it didn't actually make that much of a sense when it comes to handles, the damage they scale with, and stuff they do. So for example, the handles, the heavy handles, would still act as a heavy attack weapon if you attach a lighter attack blade. They fixed that. Then again, they did say that in some of those instances, this one for example is a heavy handle that I have right here, and I attached a mildly fast attacking blade right here, and as you can see it does seems to attack a little bit faster, so that's something highly appreciated, and it's something worthwhile taking a look into if you're wondering you like a blade but and you wanted to use on a handle but you weren't really convinced because the damage return was being held back because of how slow the weapon would be and not much damage you would get from the blade. That is something that has been fixed in here, at least mildly, for what we can see. And that's the patch notes of this new patch. I think that a lot of people is going to be... I mean, I get it. I know that some people is going to be like, why did he keep nerfing the game like this? It's just making the game a little bit more approachable to a whole lot more people. I think that exploration right now is going to be a whole lot much more easier. Your weapons are going to be much more meaningful when it comes to dealing damage. So you're going to see that improvement on your character that much more, which is something that I did feel that I was missing on the launch of the game, where I didn't feel that my builds were being just like that kind of overpowered, amazing stuff that we like to do in Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, and all of the Souls-likes that you can think about, using the math of the game to make something very powerful. Here, it just felt like something serviceable. I'm hoping that I'm going to do a new playthrough and I'm going to see how does it feel. I know that it is going to be quite a whole lot easier. But hey, it might be just an enjoyable experience. This might just be the right excuse that we need to hop back on into Lies of P and enjoy this beautiful masterpiece that we have right here. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I'll be seeing you gorgeous people in the next one. A beautiful day and goodbye, and remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel before you close the door, and goodbye.
Écoute mon